Hello folks, this is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on March 8th, 2023. If you'd like to support my game, Decoding the Powerball, then please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. Thank you, and please subscribe. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, the object of my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. Okay, in this video I'll be updating and making my picks. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is where I try to eliminate the numbers and try to get it down to the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so you can see that I have 5 colors, and they are red, orange, green, blue, and purple, and they represent the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to the Powerball homepage and find out what were those 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. They were the 2, 13, 29, 58, and 69. The Powerball number was 4, but right now I'm only concerned about these 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so you can see I put these numbers at the top of my list. Again, it was the 2, 13, 29, 58, 69. And now I'm going to put some colors to it like I did here in the past. Okay, so you can see on my game card, it's for March 6, 2023, so I need to update it to the 8th. But I'm going to get my colors off of this game card. Okay, so the 2 was red, the 13 was purple, the 29 was purple, the 58 was orange, and the 69 was green. So again, the 2 was red, the 1329 was purple, the 58 was orange, and the 69 was green. Okay, so that gives me 4 colors, 4 out of 5 colors. Okay, so now I kept track of 220 color code drawings now, and a 4 color combination has now come up 84 times. Okay, so what I want you to focus on here is the 3 color combination. You can see that this has come up 105 times out of 220 drawings. Okay, so the 3 color combination comes up the most, and what that means is that 2 colors are not coming up. Okay, so that's what I want to focus on here. I want to try to correctly guess what color group will not be coming up, and I want to eliminate those numbers off of my game card. Okay, so now I need to update my game card to the March 8th. So I'm going to eliminate all these colors and start from scratch. Okay, so my color code is right here. Here's the red numbers, the orange, green, blue, and whatever's left over is purple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these 15 numbers over to the game card as red numbers. So I'm going to start with the 2, 13, 29, 58, 69. The next line down is the 10, the 16, 18, 40, and 66. And the last line is the 2, which is already taken. So the 9, the 28, 36, and 53. So again, I'm going to make these red. And now I'm going to count how many red numbers I have. So I got 3, and 3 are 6, 2 are 10. 2 are 8, 2 are 10, and 4 are 14. So up here I'm going to make this 14. And now I'm going to move on to my orange. So I'm going to transfer these 20 numbers over to my game card as orange numbers. Okay, so you can see that the 16 and 28 are already taken. So I'll start with the 49, the 51, 55, then the 11. The next line down is the 11, the 24. 58's already taken, the 66 is already taken, so the 67. The next line down is the 11, which is taken, so the 19, the 39, 44, and 65. And the last line is the 3, 17, 26, 38, and 54. So again, I'm going to make these orange. And now I'm going to count how many I have. So over here I got 3, and 3 are 6, 4 is 10, and 5 are 15. So up here I'm going to make this 15. And now I move on to the green area. and then the blue, and then whatever's left over is purple. Okay, but I already did this. You can see here's my game card for March 8th. So I'm just kind of copy and paste. And now I have my game card for March 8th, 2023. Okay, so again, there was 14 red numbers, 15 orange, turned out to be 14 green, 15 blue, and 11 purple numbers. Okay, so why is this important? Okay, so since I have my color code like this, I noticed that I get consistent double-digit numbers per color. Okay, and the thing is that when you have consistency, then things can get predictable. Okay, so again, I want to try to correctly guess what color group will not be coming up. Okay, so sometimes all 5 colors do come up. It's come up 16 times out of 220 drawings. So it comes up, but it's very rare. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is try to correctly guess what the majority of the numbers will be. Will they be odds or will they be evens? Okay, so looking at this, you know, for the past like 25 drawings, the majority has been even numbers. And I see this single odd, single odd, single, 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 single. So, you know, when's it going to double up like right here? I'm hoping that it's going to do that right now. So I'm going to predict that there's going to be more odd numbers than even numbers. Okay, so I want to find the color that has the most even numbers to it and eliminate those numbers off of my game card. Okay, so I'm going to start in with the red. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 14 numbers are red. Okay, moving on to the orange. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 15, that's not very good. Okay, then the green, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 14, that's even. Moving on to the blue, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 15, that's not great. Okay, and then the last one is purple. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 11. That's not too bad, but the one that really stands out is the red. 9 out of the 14 numbers are even. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to say that no red numbers are going to come up. So I'm going to eliminate these off of my game card. Okay, so I'm just going to block these out. And when I block out numbers like this, this means I'm not even going to consider these numbers when I'm picking what I think would be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so can a red number come up? Yeah, absolutely it can. Okay, so this is where the betting comes in. Okay, I'm going to spend $3 on a Powerball ticket, which includes the power play. So in other words, I'm betting $3 that none of these red numbers will come up in tonight's drawing. Okay, so if I'm correct and none of these red numbers come up, then I just reduce the odds for myself, giving myself a little bit better odds to win some kind of prize in the Powerball lottery. Okay, so I'm moving on to my next strategy, which is the individual numbers. Okay, so again, here's the winning Powerball numbers that just came up, the 2, 13, 29, 58, 69. Okay, so what I did here is I divided all 69 numbers into 7 different groups. Okay, so here's all the groups. And my first group, 1 through 9, of course, is the only group with 9 numbers, where the other 6 have 10 numbers to it for 69 numbers. Okay, so here's the 2. And here's the 2 here, and I'm going to follow down, and I'm going to make this square red because the 2 is red. Okay, so this 5 tells me that I hit the last drawing, hit 5 out of the 7 groups. Before that, it hit 3 out of the 7 groups. Okay, so what that means is that with this 3, I know that 4 of these groups did not have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so how this works with my color code is, let me go to the 20 numbers here. Okay, so you see these red numbers here? What I did is, I was explaining this throughout my videos here that, okay, I see a red number down here. And I was looking at this saying, okay, when is a red number due to come back up? Okay, it's been a long time, and then finally a red number comes up, and then another one, and now another one. Okay, so this is what I look for. I look for a color that hasn't come up in a while, and I say, okay, when is it due to come up? Okay, so one more thing I want to point out is that this big square right here, this is good for 5 drawings. And the reason why I did that is because when I see something like this red, I want to say, okay, how many drawings has it been since it's come up? And this is easier for me to count. I can say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30, just about 35 drawings. Okay, so when I see something that's gone that long, it's like, okay, it's really getting due to come up here. Okay, so I'm just going to reduce this down so you can see the whole card. So again, the overall strategy is try to correctly pick which one of these groups will not have a winning Powerball number to it, and eliminate those numbers off of my game card. But I also look at it and say, okay, what number is due to come up as well? Okay, so I'm looking at these 50s numbers, and I see the red, orange, blue, purple, and a green number hasn't come up in 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, just about almost 30 drawings here, 28 drawings or so. So I'm thinking, hey, is this going to be a green number here? So let me blow this back up and go back to the game card and look at the 50 numbers to see which one is green. Okay, and the only one I got here is the 52. Okay, so I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind that maybe this 52 will be coming up in the drawing tonight. Okay, so again, the overall strategy is try to correctly guess what group will not have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so since I did this, I broke it up into 5 drawings like this, I noticed that the average for hits per group is like 4. So here, 10 through 19, you can see that this had 4 hits within this 5 drawings here. And that's what that seems to be the average. So when I see something above average, like these numbers of 10 through 19, then I say, well, it's above average. I'm thinking that there's not going to be a winning Powerball number here. Okay, I don't think I'll be putting any colors here. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the numbers of 10 through 19 off of my game card. Okay, so the 10 is already gone, so I'll go with the 11, 12, 14, 15, 17, and the 19. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so again, if I made the correct picks here, and none of these blocked out numbers come up, then the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers still have to be left here on my game card as a highlighted number. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to my groups. This is another strategy. Okay, so how I look at this is, maybe you heard of the saying divide and conquer. Okay, so this is how I divide things, and now I just try to conquer by picking, I set it up for myself where I have like this, where I have 7 options and there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So I know that 2 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. So the strategy is pick the group that's not going to have the winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so this is the same thing with my groups. Okay, so I call this group 4, and I call it group 4 because I divided it into 4 different color groups. Okay, so I'm just going to update this so I'll give you a visual. Okay, so the 2 and the 13 are in red. So I'm going to put a 2 down here, and that represents the 2 and 13. The 29 is in blue. So I'm going to put a 1 here. The 58 and the 69 are in green. So I'm going to put 2 here. And there is no winning Powerball numbers in the orange area. Okay, so this is the strategy. You want to try to correctly guess where the 0 is going to be. Now, if I could have correctly guessed that none of these orange numbers were going to come up in the last drawing, I could have eliminated all these numbers off of my game card and gave myself, again, a much better chance of winning some kind of prize in the Powerball lottery. Okay, so let me finish this up here. So again, I like to go every 3 drawings. And the reason why I do this is because after the 3rd drawing, I'll be putting a color to it. Okay, so if there's 3 hits in a row, I make this a really dark red because it's really hot. And here there's only 2 hits, so I'll make it a little bit lighter. And if there's 2 misses and 1 hit, I'll color it blue for cold. And if there's 3 zeros, I color it a dark blue for really cold. Okay, so here it hit 3 out of the 4 color groups, and the majority of the numbers were over here to the left side, so I'm going to keep this 3 red. If the majority was over here to the right side, I'll color this 3 green, again just to give me some separation. Okay, so over here I'm going to make this a dark red as well, and this right here tells me if there's any blue marks. Now here's a blue mark, so there's no blue marks. And over here, a triple hit is what I like to call this. This comes up a lot with this group 4. So there's 3 of them. Okay, so how I like to use this is, of course, I love to pick where the 0 is going to be because it's going to knock out 17 numbers for me. Okay, but I like to use it I like to use this any way that it will give me an advantage. Okay, so in this last drawing, if I could have correctly guessed at least one of these were going to come up in the red area, I would have said, okay, I think at least one of these numbers, the 1 through 17, are going to be coming up. Okay, and you can see it was the 2 and the 13. Okay, so I have 7 of these option cards. And again, I'm just hoping that one of these option cards will give me something that I could use to say, okay, these numbers aren't going to come up, or hey, I think one of these numbers are going to come up. Okay, so this is the overview of all 7 option cards. You can see this green had 7 hits. So all these option cards had a hit to it. Okay, so the reason why I like to keep a stat on this is like this orange right here. You can see that a 7-0 hasn't come up in a while. So maybe that's due to happen. So I'm going to look at this and say, okay, if I really think it's going to be a 7-0 in the orange, then I know that each one of these option cards are going to have a hit in the orange area. So I'm going to be looking at them saying, okay, which one is it? Okay, but what I like to do first is try to eliminate numbers first, and then I'll go back to this. Okay, so I also have a group 6. Of course, this is where I divided the 69 numbers into 6 different color groups. And with this one, I know that there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers, so I know that one of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so why do I have group 4, group 6, and I also have a group 8? Where I know that 3 of these color groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. And then I have a group 10, where again, I know that 5 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so I like to give myself different angles. Okay, so with this group 4, I can knock out up to 17 numbers. With this group 10, I can knock out up to 7 numbers. Okay, so I got different things in between, and hopefully one of these option cards are gonna tell me where the zero is gonna be. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to another one, Powerball number 2. And I'm going to update this one as well. This is another group 4. Then I got a group 8. Actually, I got 3 group 8s. And then I have a group 10 here as well. Okay, so I'm going to update this one as well. Okay, so I got the 2 is in the red area. The 13's in the blue. 29's in the green. 58 is in the orange, and 69 is in the green. Okay, so I had 1 in the red, 1 in the blue, 1 in the orange, and 2 in the green. It hit all 4 colors, and the majority of the numbers are over here to the right side, so I'm going to keep this for green. Okay, so what's the difference between Powerball 2 and Powerball 1? Here you can see I have no numbers at the top, and with this Powerball 2 I have it staggered, so at least I have 1 number at the top now. Okay, so another way of looking at this is, let's say I started Powerball number 1 with these numbers here, and then Powerball number 2 I started here, and I also have Powerball number 3 which I started here. Okay, so it gives me that stagger that I'm looking for, that at least one of these will have 2 numbers at the top. Okay, so here's my Powerball number 3. I'm going to update this one as well. So the 2 was in blue. The 13 was in orange. The 29, 58, 69 were all in yellow. So that means there is no winning Powerball numbers in the red, no winning Powerball numbers in the green, and no winning Powerball numbers in the purple areas. Okay, so I hit 1, 2, 3 color groups, and the majority of the numbers were over here to the right side, so I'm going to keep this 3 green. Okay, so again, I have these staggered like this, so at least one of these have 2 numbers to the top, and now I can use some tools. Okay, so the tool over here, this tells me how many blue marks I had. So in the last drawing I had 2 blue marks, and then over here I have a triple hit or a triple zero, and you can see the triple hits come up a lot more than the triple zeros. So what do I have for options for a triple hit? I have this yellow. A triple hit comes up a lot. This is my only option. So I'm kind of thinking that one of these yellow numbers will be coming up in the drawing tonight. Okay, so I have 3 of these option cards here. And looking at number 2 here, what do I have for a triple hit? I have the red, and I have the yellow again. So maybe, I'm sorry, I had the blue as well. You know, it's not uncommon for, well, I guess it is a little uncommon for all 3 to come up like that, but again, I want to look at things and say, okay, which one is going to have the triple hit here? Okay, and look at the triple zeros. You know, I haven't had one in a while. Very sporadic. Maybe it's due to come up as well. I have one here in the purple. So maybe none of these purple numbers will be coming up. Okay, and I got one more here. For a triple hit, I got the orange, purple, yellow. And for a triple zero, I have the blue for an option. Okay, and then at the end I have an overview what happened. Okay, in the last drawing, all three orange groups had a hit to it, and all three green groups had a miss to it. Okay, so let's take a look at that. So here's the 0 in the green area. Here's another 0. And the third 0. Okay, so certainly this is where I want to try to correctly pick where this 0-3 is going to happen here. Okay, so I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, where's the one that hasn't come up in a long time? And certainly here's one in the red. Blue is even older. And it looks like blue is the oldest one. Okay, so I'm just going to take a look at the blue real quick. Okay, so this is why I keep track of every 3 drawings like this, so I can put a color to it. Okay, so when I see something like this has been really hot, the question is, okay, when's it going to cool down, you know? Like this green over here, it's been really hot. I have a lot of red to it. When's it going to turn blue? Okay, and this is why I have this over here as well. I'm looking at this and saying, wow, it's been really red over here, and that means the majority of the Powerball numbers have been coming up over to the left side. So just like a quarter, you know, when you flip a quarter, it comes up heads, 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 and then, you know, eventually it's going to come up tails. This is kind of the same thing. It's 50-50. It's either going to be red or it's going to be green. And when it's red for a long time, well, eventually it's going to turn green at some point. That's what I'm hoping. Okay, so the thing that looks like it's going to be a hit is this purple area here. Okay, I'm thinking that there's going to be a hit right here, and I'm thinking that one of these purple numbers will be coming up in tonight's drawing. Okay, so you can see these dark reds, which means that there's 3 red numbers in a row, and that hasn't happened with any green yet. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a green number, which again, I think the majority of the numbers will be over here to the right side. So I'm going to look over here to the left side to predict where I think a 0 is going to be. Okay, and this blue is looking really good. And I'm going to go with this blue. So I'm going to get rid of the 2, 3, 4, 17, 26, 34 off of my game card. So it's the 2, 3, 4, 17, 26, 34. So I'll get rid of those. And then I'll get rid of the 47, 55, 56, 50, 51, 60. So I'll get rid of the 47, 55, 56. I'm sorry, what was it again? 50, 51, 60. So I'll get rid of those as well. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. So again, I'll say it one more time. If these blocked out numbers do not come up, then the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers still have to be left here on my game card as a highlighted number. Okay, so moving on. Again, I'm thinking that that blue is going to have 0 to it, and it's been really hot. The one thing I don't like about this is you can see these dark greens, but I haven't seen a dark red yet. So maybe the majority of the numbers will be over here. So I'm not really liking that blue anymore. So I'm just going to skip this one. Okay, so this is why I gave myself so many option cards, is so I could cherry pick through these things and just try to pick the absolute best one that I see, and hopefully I'll get it correct and win a big prize through the Powerball lottery. Okay, so again, I'm kind of looking at this blue. It's been pretty sparse here as far as 000 come up. Maybe it's due to have one here again. To me, this has been going back and forth between red and blue, red and blue. I mean, red and green, sorry about that. I'm thinking that this is going to be a green number, which means I believe that the majority of the numbers will be over here. And I'm thinking that it's this yellow that's going to have a hit to it. So let's take a look at those yellows again. Here's the 69. That just barely came up, and sometimes it just comes right back up again. Okay, so I'm going to keep an eye on this. Actually, I'm going to mark it red. Okay, with this last one here, you can see I marked it blue. And the reason why I mark it blue like that is because when I go to update this, when the drawing happens tonight, I go and update it, and I look at this and say, hey, I got this correct. None of these blue numbers came up, or one of these numbers came up and burned me. Okay? So here I'm going to come back and I'm going to say, okay, I think one of these yellow numbers are going to come up. And that's it. Okay, so I'm going to move on to my next one. This is 6B, where I have another 3 option cards. Okay, so looking at this, again, it's been really hot to the left side, then really hot again, and I'm thinking that this is going to be a green number. So I think the majority of the numbers will be over here, and I'm kind of liking this green to have a hit to it. Okay, but over here, I like this red, of course, because it's been so hot that I think it's time to cool down. Okay, but I also like this blue as well, because you see here's 2 blue, and then it's single, 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 single. When's it gonna double up again? I'm thinking that it's gonna double up as well. But I really hate to pick both of them, you know. Certainly both could have a 0 to it, but I'm just going by the odds. You know, if I could get one of these correct, the odds of me getting 2 of them correct are really, really high, especially when there's only 6 color groups and 5 white winning Powerball numbers. But I like the red a little bit better than the blue because it's been so hot, and I'm hoping that it's going to cool down. Okay, so I'm going to go with this one, and I'm going to get rid of the 1, 11, 18, 30. So I'll get rid of the 1 and the 30. And then I'll get rid of the 16, 31, 34. So I'll get rid of the 31. And then I'll get rid of the 38, 54, 65. So I'll get rid of the 38, 54, 65. And then I'll get rid of the 39, 59. So I'll get rid of those numbers, and again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Okay, it's been really hot to the left side. Before that, it was really hot to the right side. Really hot to the left side. So, been going kind of back and forth here. And I'm thinking that this is going to be a green number. Okay, so I kind of like this green as well to have a triple hit to it. all these ones over here to the left, the red, the blue, the orange, they all look pretty good. They all been really hot. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the orange. Just because I haven't seen one double up yet. Like this. So I'm going to go with this orange for no orange numbers. So I'm going to get rid of the 3 to the 29, the 36 to the 63, and the 38 to the 65. So I get rid of the 21, the 45, 63, and that's it. And hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, my last one here. Again, the first thing I look for is over here. I see it's been, I don't know, more red than green. So I'm kind of thinking that this is going to be a green number. Although I do like to see this orange have a hit to it. It's been really cold. When's it going to start to heat back up again? Same here with the purple. It's been really, really hot. When's it going to start cooling off? Okay, so I'm going to put a red mark here. And that's it. That's all I feel comfortable doing. So again, this is all a gut feeling, of course, and I just don't have a good gut feeling of where that 0 is going to be. So I'm just going to leave this alone and move on to my next one. Okay, so I have this group 3A, 3B, and 3C. This is all a 10 color group, okay? So this is really good odds, 50-50 odds, all right? I know that 5 of these color groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so looking at this. Now, this 000, this happens a lot. So I don't want to look at my opportunities. I got a red, blue, purple, and light blue. So what I like to look for is something that a 000 hasn't come up in a while. Okay, so you can see here in the red, here's the 000, the orange, the green, purple. You know, the turquoise and the blue hasn't had a 000 yet on the information that I have. So I'm kind of liking this blue one. Okay, it's never had a 000 yet, so I'm hoping that it's due. And I'm going to get rid of all these blue numbers off of my off of my game card. Okay, so it's the 5, 7, 9, 15, 17. So I'll get rid of the 5, 7. And then it was the 35, 65. So I'll get rid of the 35. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so with this one, I know that 5 of these color groups will not be having a winning Powerball number to it. So I don't mind picking 2 here. For all the rest, I only want to pick 1. But when I have this many options, I don't mind picking 2. Okay, so here with this one, my second out of 3. Again, the first thing I look for is the 000s. And you can see with this, you know, it's been awful green. So the majority of the numbers have been coming up over here to the right side. And I think that this is going to be a red number here. So I think the majority of the winning Powerball numbers tonight will be over here to the left side. And of course the magic question is, okay, which one? Okay, so I'm kind of liking this purple. You can see that all these purple numbers are all odd numbers. And I think the majority of the numbers tonight will be odd. So I'm going to look over here to pick where that 000 is going to be. And this one kind of stands out. You know, this 000 has been way down here, where most of all the other color groups, you know, they're pretty close to the top. And this light blue one way down here. Okay, so I'm going to go with this light blue, and hopefully it's due to have a 000 again. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the 22, the 11, 22, 27, 56, okay, so I'll get rid of the 22 and 27. And then the 43, 51, 60. So I'll get rid of the 43 as well. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on to my third one, my last one. Again, it looks like the majority of the numbers have been to the left side over here. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that this is going to be a green number. I think the majority of the numbers will be over here. So again, I'm going to look over here to pick where I think the 0 is going to be. Now with this green, you know, you can see that these 000s, they double up every now and again. And this green has that opportunity to double up. So, and you can see with all these green numbers, they're all even numbers, so I like that. Again, I think the majority of the numbers tonight will be odd numbers. So I'm going to get rid of the 38, 44, 54, 62, and 64. So I'll get rid of the 44, 62, 64. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Oh, I also had the 60 and 68. And I'll get rid of the 68 as well. Okay, so again, I don't mind picking two of them here. So I like to look at the overview and see where 03 hasn't come up in a while. Because they're usually pretty close to the top, like this light blue. Okay, the one that hasn't come up the most in a while is this brown area. Okay, so you can see I bordered a lot of things. Okay, so what that means is it means that something flip-flopped. Like these two right here, I'm going to border these up because they flip-flopped. Okay, so when I see something that, you know, here's another one right here. Okay, so when I see something that, you know, the border hasn't come up in a while, then I'm going to think that one of these is going to flip-flop, okay? I have a lot of these, okay? But still, I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, the only one that I really like here is the brown. So let's take a look at the brown areas and see if I like to put a 0 to it. You can see that this has been pretty cold, so I really kind of don't like that one. Kind of don't like this one either. And I guess I don't like this one either. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to move on to group 3B. And again, I'm going to look over here. I'm thinking that this number is going to be green, which I believe that the majority of the numbers will be over here to the right side tonight. I guess I wouldn't mind seeing a brown get hit. So I got the 12, 21, 29, 35, 44, 53. And none of those numbers have a hit to it. There's no numbers, I mean. Okay, so stick with the plan. Where's the 000 going to be? I guess I don't really like any of these. So I'm going to move on to the next one. And again, looking at this, I'm kind of thinking that this is going to be a red number, which I believe that the majority of the numbers will be over here. Certainly kind of liking this red over here to have a hit to it. You can see that they're all odd numbers, so it's the 5, 15, 25, 34. Sorry, except for that 34, of course. So I got the 25, and that's it. Okay, so maybe that 25 will be coming up tonight. Okay, and the only 000 that I have, actually I kind of like this light blue to have a hit as well. 6, 7, 16, 40, 41, 43. I got the 6 and the 41. So I kind of like the 25, 41 as odd numbers. This brown has had a ton of 000s to it as well. I kind of don't like that one. So I'm going to move on. And again, this is why I gave myself so many option cards. So again, I could just cherry pick through these things. Okay, so looking at this one, I haven't seen a dark red, so maybe it's due to happen to have another red number here, which means the majority of the numbers will be coming up over on this side. So I'm going to look at this side to pick where I think a 000 is going to be. You can see I have all 5 of them here to choose from. Okay, so the one that kind of sticks out the most is this turquoise. And I'm going to go with the turquoise. Although I do kind of like that 41, so I think I'll switch my answer to brown. And the reason why I'm doing this is because all the brown numbers are even numbers. Okay, so I'm going to go with the, I kind of like that 52. Do I still have that? I do. Okay, so I'm just going to, I don't like either of these, so I'm just going to go to the overview and see if I see anything here. All the 03s are pretty close to the top everywhere, so it's really no help. So I'm going to move on to 3C. Looking at this, the majority of red numbers, I'm thinking that this is going to be green, which means I think the majority of the numbers tonight will be over here on this side. So I got the blue, orange, and green as a 000. I think I'm going to go with the blue. So I'll get rid of the 36 to the 63, which is already gone. And then I get rid of the 41, 51, 59. I'm sorry, the 42, 51, 59. So I'll get rid of that 42. And hopefully that number does not come up. Okay, so moving on. Again, I see a bunch of red here. I'm thinking that this is going to be a green number, which again, I think the majority of the numbers will be over here. And this blue kind of sticks out as far as being really hot and having a 000 opportunity. I'm going to go with the blue. And I'll get rid of the 38, 47, 54, 63. See that none of those numbers are there. And then the 51, 59, 67. And I'll get rid of that 67. And hopefully that number does not come up. Okay, so moving on. My last option card here. Looking at this is hard to predict. I'm almost thinking that this is going to be a red number. I don't really know, and I think I'm going to leave this one alone. A couple of things that stand out to me here is that you can see these triple hits. They've been coming up pretty often, I guess. I noticed that a red doesn't have one, a yellow or turquoise. Okay, so this is really not a big help, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to go to the overview. And again, I'm looking for a 03 that hasn't come up in a while. And the one that kind of stands out the most is this red. So let's take a look at the red. See if anything really sticks out. Really doesn't. So this is all I have for my group 3. So I'm going to move on to the next one that has the best advantage. Okay, and I believe that's group 2, where I have at least one number at the top, which gives me some kind of clue. Okay, so this is what I like to look for right here, where it's been just like really, really hot. You know, this represents, let's see here, 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18 numbers out of 69 numbers. Okay, so what's that? 51 numbers are not red. And there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So how long can this be sustainable of keep on hitting with 51 other numbers out there, you know? So I'm hoping that this is due to miss. And I'm going to get rid of all these red numbers. Okay, so it's the 1, 2, 10, 11, 5, 6, 31, 32. So I'll get rid of the 632. I like those because they're odd. And then I get rid of the 35, 36, 52, 53, 54, and the 61. And then the 39, 40, 48, 49. Well, I did kind of like that 52, but I'm going to get rid of it. And hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, and then the 39, 40, 48, 49. I'll get rid of these two. Okay, so you can see that I'm getting down here. So again, if I made the correct picks and none of these blocked out numbers come up, then the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers still have to be left here on my game card as a highlighted number. Okay, so here I got 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. I got 10 numbers left. And the reason why I believe in this game so much is because one time, a couple of years ago actually, I reduced the numbers down to 10, and the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers landed within these 10 numbers. I only got 2 of them correct that day, but I looked at it and said, wow, I gave myself a much better chance at winning a really good prize. And again, that's why I believe in this game. Okay, so moving on. I have 9 of these option cards here in this group 4. But how I look at it, and again, I have 4 options per option card, so 9 times 4 equals 36 options that I have to choose from. And I look at it and say, hey, if I could just get one of these options correct, I'll be happy. So I made my one pick. Unless I see something like just really outstanding, and I'm probably not going to pick again. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to Group 8A. Here I have 3 of these option cards. And then I have an overview as well. And I'm certainly looking for something that's been really hot like this green. Or I'm looking for a 03 that hasn't come up in a long time. And again, it looks like this green way down here, where all the other color groups have been pretty close to the top here. Okay, so I'm going to keep an eye on this green, possibly this blue over here. Now let's check it out. Okay, so green and blue is kind of on my radar here. Over here, I'm kind of thinking that this is going to be a red number. So I really don't like this first one, so I'm going to move on to number 2. Again, I'm really not seeing anything that I really like. And since I have a ton of option cards, I'm just going to cherry pick through these things. Okay, so over here, see lots of red, which means the majority of the numbers have been coming up over here to this left side. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a green number. One that sticks out to me the most is this gray. Kind of like that because they're all odd numbers. So I got the 1, 11, 19, 27. And then I got the 41, 43, 51, 59, 69. So I got that 41 there still. Okay, so I'm really starting to like that 41. Okay, so I'm going to move on to Group 8B, again, where I have 3 more of these option cards. And again, the first thing I see, bunch of red. Thinking that this is going to be a green number, which means I believe the majority of the numbers will be over here. I'm kind of liking that yellow, but they're all well, they're all even numbers though. I'm also kind of liking this purple as well. Alright, I'm still not seeing anything that I like. Here I see the majority has been green. I'm thinking that this is going to be a red number. And I'm kind of liking this yellow over here for a 0. I'm thinking a 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to go for it. So I'm going to get rid of the 13, 19. I think the 20 is the only thing that's left. So the 8, 31. So I'll get rid of the 8. And then the 42, 66, 47, 53. And there's nothing to get rid of. So I got 3, 6, 9. I got 9 numbers left. I need to get down to 5. So moving on. Again, I see a bunch of red here. I'm thinking that this number is going to be green. Kind of liking this gray. Don't really see any numbers on there, so alright, so I'm going to move on to the overview, and I'm looking for a 0-3 that hasn't come up in a long time. And certainly the red is kind of sticking out. So let's check out that red real quick. See a bunch of red over here, so yeah, hard to say. So I'm going to leave this one alone, and I'm going to move on to my group 10. Again, where I have 3 of these option cards here. And again, I like to look for the 000. This has been going back and forth, back and forth. I'm thinking that this is going to be a red number, though. Kind of like this green to have a hit. There's the 41. And also the 46 I know is on the board. Okay, so a 000 comes up a lot. And I'm either looking at this brown where the 000 is here, or the blue where the 000 is down here. I think I'm going to go with the blue, as they represent all even numbers. Let's see if I even have any. The 4, 12, 16, 32. $60, 66. I got no numbers there to, anyways, so I'll move on. Again, I see a bunch of red, thinking that this number is going to be green. The orange hasn't had a 000 in a little while. So I got the 23, 26. I'm going to go with this orange. And I'm going to get rid of the 23 and the 33. Okay, so I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 1, 2, 3 even numbers. And of course 4 odd. So I'm looking to get rid of at least one of these even numbers. The 25, 41, 46 are still here. I kind of like these 3 numbers right here. And keep on moving on. Ton of red over here. I'm thinking that this is going to be a green number. Kind of like this yellow to have a hit to it. But again, hopefully it won't. I think I'm going to go with this turquoise for a 000. Hasn't come up in a little while. And I'll get rid of that 37. Okay, a 3-color combination comes up the most. So I think I want to keep that 24 and the 46. So I'll get rid of the 20. And that will bring me down to 5 numbers. Okay, so I'm going to go with the 24, the 25, 41, 46, and 57. Okay, so now I need the Powerball number. So I have something for that as well. Okay, so on this side, I just want to say there's 26 red ball numbers, red Powerball numbers. So I just divided these into 2. So if you see a blue number, that's low, 1 to 13. If you see a red number, that's high, 14 to 26. On this side, I just divided the numbers in odds and evens. So if you see a red number, that's odds. If you see a black number, that's evens. Okay, so I got this Powerball number correct last night. I said that, you know, a pattern comes up like this 23, 13, and 23 comes back up again, kind of leapfrogging. I said that hasn't come up in a while, and I thought this 4 would do that, and it did. Okay, so I won some money last night, which is a good feeling. Now I'm going to try to do it again. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is I'm kind of thinking that this is going to be a blue number, this next one. So I'm thinking it's going to be low. And over here, I haven't seen this black have three numbers, just three numbers like this in a while. So I'm thinking that's going to happen. So I'm thinking that this next one is going to be a red number. So I think I want to go with the longest odd number. Okay, so what I mean by that is for a low odd number, I mean. So I only want to look at the numbers of 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. Okay, so as I scroll down here, I want to get rid of the 7, the 11, the 9, the 5, the 3, and I think the only thing that's left over is the 13. Okay, so here's the 13 that hasn't come up in a little while. So I'm going to go with the 13. Okay, I'm hoping that the 13 will come up. So I'm going to go with the 24, 25, 41, 46, 47, 57, and Powerball number 13. Okay, so as Sherlock Holmes would say, it's a matter of deduction. So again, if these blocked out numbers don't come up, then these 5 highlighted numbers have to come up. Okay, so let's go over the odds real quick. To get the grand prize, all 5 white ball numbers and a red ball, the odds are 1 in 292 million that you're going to win the grand prize. My game is geared up for mostly the white ball numbers. And to get the white ball, the odds are 1 in 11,688,000. Okay, so in other words, you can make nearly 12 million 5-number combinations out of 69 numbers. Okay, so I don't want to give any kind of illusions that this is going to be easy to win. Okay, so another great prize would be 4 white ball numbers and a red ball. That pays 50,000 plus the power play if you play it. And the odds of winning this are just about 1 in a million. Okay, so I want to go over a budget. If I play all the Powerball drawings within a year, there's 3 per week, and I spend $3 on every week for a year, I will spend $468 playing my game, Decoding the Powerball. Okay, so in closing, I'd just like to thank you for watching, taking the time to watch today. Again, you can support my game through my Patreon page at patreon.com/decoding the Powerball. And if you'd like to give me any feedback, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Again, there's no "the" in there. It's just decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Okay, the Powerball lottery is getting back up there. We're up to 31 million. So I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.